So, what are my favorite, what are the best value pieces of electronics in my life that I have encountered? Number one for me is the Kindle Paperwhite. I bought this 9 years ago in 2015. It is nearly 10 years old. I haven't used it a tremendous amount, but it still shows no signs of wear. The battery still holds a charge for weeks. The screen is still usable. The device is still updated and usable. It is not obsolete. And that is incredibly rare nowadays. Nowadays, if you spend $100 on a device, you should likely expect that to be obsolete in 2, 3 years. This is 9 years going on 10 very soon, and it is still functioning like day one. So number one value piece of tech for me is the Kindle Paperwhite. Number two for me is the SanDisk Jam MP3, which is a tiny MP3 player. This thing is cheap, functional, and fairly full-featured. It is micro SD expandable with a slot on the side. It has podcast playback and functionality. It has Audible integration if you use a PC, and I think it's limited to Windows 10, but you can put Audible books on here. It's tiny. The battery lasts for days without issue, and I did have a scare with this. I dropped this last week, and the screen went dead. I thought it was broken, and I was putting a piece of masking tape on the back and saying, died on this date because I dropped it. And while it was on the counter, it must have gotten scared by that note because it started working again. So I don't need to buy a replacement. It's still working. $25, I think, and it's going on a year so far and still working great, even after a drop. And the final item for me is, what a shocker, a wristwatch. It is a classic Casio G-Shock. This thing is affordable, it is functional, it is durable, it has the time, the day, the date, an alarm, an hourly chime, which you may have heard in this episode, a timer, and a stopwatch. And I also have the older 5600 model here, and that has the electroluminescent backlight as opposed to an LED backlight. It just looks so much better because the lighting is even and it has this greenish glow. The new LED light has a point of hotness coming in from the side, and it is more white. Typical LED, it's not pleasing to look at, so the older electroluminescence is amazing. And what do all of these items have in common? They don't become obsolete after a year, after 2 years, after 3 years. They are all very full-featured. They are all reliable. They are all affordable. They are all what I deem to be very high value because you pay $30 to $40 for a watch. You can wear this for a decade until you have to replace the battery. You can get replacement straps. You can occasionally send it into G-Shock to get repaired. The Kindle Paperwhite, no maintenance needed. 10 years on. SanDisk Jam MP3, perfectly functional for everything I need except for high definition, lossless audio, audiophile playback. Other than that, does everything that I need. If you have favorite value technology, favorite value electronics, let me know in the comments because I'm very curious what other people are using. I find this topic so interesting. Where can we spend our money the most wisely? All of these items, people may not look at it and think, that's the highest quality piece of tech out there. But it is money well spent in my opinion. I don't regret a single one of these purchases years on. Let me know in the comments down below what your picks are, and maybe I will do a follow-up if I ever think of more that meet these standards, these high standards, this high bar that has been set by these items.